Yeah, it could symbolize. Yeah, it does symbolize strength. Yeah. What else?
Ownership.
Huh?
Ownership.
Ownership? Yeah. Yeah. Huh? Steadfastness. Yeah. When the banner's up, the war is still on, basically. When the banner falls, what happens? When the banner falls, what do people immediately do? Do you know what they do? This happened at the time of the Prophet in one of the very famous battles. Does anybody know this battle? The banner fell 3 or 4 times. Huh? I can't hear. It could have happened, I don't know, Battle of Uhud, possibly. It's the Battle of Mu'ta, yeah, where Abdullah ibn Abi Rawaha, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, I believe, and other people they were holding the banner, and each one of them fell, 2 or 3 people, very close to people. And then eventually Khalid ibn Walid took the banner and he retreated, So anyway, so the banner symbolizes something, doesn't it? So what does that mean for knowledge then? What does that mean for ilm? What do we gain from that root word analysis for ilm? Sorry? Power, possibly. Symbolizing, yeah.
Knowledge.
Exactly, yeah. So knowledge in Arabic has the sense of guiding you to something else, right? It's a means to something else, right? It's leading you to somewhere. Okay. Now, there are a whole host of other words that come from or that are related to ilm in Arabic, and they appear in the Quran. So I've got them in a list here, which I'll pop up in a second. Does anybody know any words that are related to ilm that are in the Quran or in Arabic or anything? Sorry? Sorry, I can't hear unfortunately because of this.
But is it related to like
yes, exactly, and linguistically related. Linguistically, derivatives. Or what they call cognates. They call them cognates. Yeah. Alim, very good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name, Alim, being the intensive form of another word which you're going to give me. Huh? Ulama, exactly. Alim is the intensive form for alim. And alim is the singular for ulama. And alim and ulama mean people of knowledge. Yeah? Alimul ghaybi wa shahadati, Allah's name. Alim, the knower of the ghayb, the unseen and the seen. Okay, or alim is also another. Anything else? Sorry? Ulum? Somebody said ulum? Yeah, ulum is the plural of ilm. Yeah, anything else? Huh? Alameen, very good. Alameen. Why alameen? What does alameen mean first? Who knows what alameen means? Creation? So why is creation called alam?
World.
Yeah, but why is it called alam? Why is it called alam given the fact that we've done a root word analysis? A root word analysis. Why do you think it's called alam? Let's see who's got their thinking caps on. Huh?
Science, alam, modern. There are something that's easily recognized.
Sorry, say that again.
There are something that can easily be recognized.
Easy to be recognized. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Science have the same exist there. That sign that.
So they're sign, exactly. Very good. Exactly like that. So I just wanted to do this exercise to kind of give you a taste of how Arabic can work and how it can then inform the way you interpret the Quran. So alameen very much means it means a means by which you know something else. So this creation is a means by which we know something else, which is what? Perhaps What is God trying to tell us? What do we know through the creation? We know Him. We know Him. Yeah, your Lord. You know your Lord. Right? You know your Lord. And what else do you know? Not just your Lord. We also know that He's all-knowing, and you know His qualities and His characteristics. You know that He's powerful, because who can create all this? If He doesn't, somebody powerful. What else do we know?
His perfection.
His perfection. What else do we know? Right.
So the ilm only comes from Him.
And only come from yes. What else do we know?
That He exists.
That He exists. Okay, yeah. What else do we know? What else does this creation tell us about Him? Or tell us about the nature of things? Sorry?
You only have to say kun fayakun.
You only have to say kun fayakun. So it's power again. Power again, yeah?
Is a manifestation of His power, His mercy,
His mercy. Okay.
His lordship, His authority.
Okay, I'll come to the sister, then I'll come to the brother, yeah? Yeah? You want to say something? He's separate to His creation. He's beyond his yeah.
Sounds like everything power comes from Him. Everything comes from Him, and everything is limited.
Yeah. What about that this has a purpose? Such an elaborate, intricate creation must have a purpose. It can't have been created without purpose, without reason. Is that in fact, that's a Quranic argument, by the way. أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا. Do you think that we created you out of play, out of jest? Right? So all of these things, anyway. So, okay, so that's a brief linguistic analysis. There are more allama, ta'aleem, alam, we've said, allam, al-ghuyub. All of these are there. Okay. Are we carry on? Okay. Now, okay, so we've talked about linguistic, and we've performed a kind of a brief, simple linguistic analysis of ilm. Okay. Now, ilm, as in any other language in Arabic, is general. It's not restricted to religious knowledge or what some like to call sacred knowledge. To be honest, I don't particularly like the term sacred knowledge. I don't think it's a concept that exists. I don't think that sacred, and it's not a distinction that the Quran.
It is a very secular definition.
Yes, it is, exactly. Yeah, Jazakallah khair. It is ilm is ilm. And the distinction that the religion makes is between what's the distinction that it makes?
The beneficial and the non-beneficial.
Exactly, beneficial and non-beneficial, which is why the Prophet ﷺ used to seek refuge in God from
non-beneficial.
Knowledge that does not benefit. Okay, knowledge that does not benefit. So I don't particularly like this. A lot of people use this sacred knowledge, especially kind of traditionalists. They like to.
Traditionalists.
Yeah, people who. Huh?
Traditionalists will not use that term sacred knowledge because it's a very secular term. But they claim to be traditional.
Yeah. So, as we said, the distinction that Islam makes is beneficial and non-beneficial. Now, I just want to make a bit of an aside here, which is just like with sacred knowledge. Whenever you import terminology which is external to the vocabulary of the Quran and the Sunnah, you have to be very careful. You have to be extremely careful because often there's a baggage that's associated with that term. And there's a philosophical baggage, there's an ideological baggage, there's a historical baggage. And when you bring it along with you, you bring a certain way of thinking. I want to give an example to you guys. Right? Spirituality. I don't like that term, personally, right? I'll give you my reasons. You can still like it after I give you my reasons, but I don't like that term. Number one, the Quran never uses spirituality. Right? It doesn't use the word ruhaniya. Right? The Sunnah never, the Prophet never once used the word. Ruh existed at this time. The word existed. But the word ruhaniya, spirituality, does not exist, was not used by the Prophet ﷺ, and was not used by the Quran, right? The reason I'm saying that is because often people say, I don't feel spiritual when I'm praying, right? And often they judge their level of their religion or their connection with Allah by their mood, right? And what they make an equivalence with is mood. So for them, mood equals religiosity, or mood, or how high you are, spiritually high you are, equals how close you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not necessarily the case. Do you think that when Ibrahim was sacrificing his son, just imagine you get a young child, you place them there, on their side, وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينَ, the Quran says.
And it's your child.
And it's your child, yes, exactly. And you take a knife, and you go like this. Do you think he was feeling a spiritual high when he was doing that? Have you been to Hajj? Anybody? Anybody been to Hajj? Nobody? Too far? Yeah. Maybe you might disagree with me, but when you're actually in the Hajj, maybe afterwards, right? But when you're in the Hajj, it's a very difficult thing. It's very gritty, right? Malik, did you feel? I don't know. You might be saying yes now. Did you feel spiritually high? You too. You saved me. You don't necessarily feel when you're sleeping in Mina and the sun's on top of you. You don't feel necessarily that you've got this spiritual high. You don't. And the ulama say, they say that person that prays and finds it difficult to pray, that person is more rewarded than the person who prays and they find it easy to pray. They find it easy to pray. Why? Because you're doing something even though you don't want to do it. Ibrahim didn't want to sacrifice his son, right? Yaqub wasn't feeling a spiritual high when his son Yusuf alayhi salam was lost. He wasn't feeling a spiritual. He actually went blind with sadness. That's not a spiritual high, right? So what I'm saying to you guys is that this is all to do with knowledge, by the way. This is epistemology, this is knowledge, this is how to interact with knowledge that's outside of Islam. When things are being brought into vocabulary has a direct correlation with the way you think. So my suggestion would be that when we talk about vocabulary, the vocabulary that God chooses is far superior than the vocabulary that other people choose. And there are many examples of this, by the way. Okay. So if it's not spirituality, what is that highest ideal that we should be kind of aiming for in Islam? What is the ideal that Islam aims for? Sorry? Sabr, yeah, sabr. Taqreeb, yeah, to go close to Allah, yeah. Worship Allah, yeah, that's ihsan, yeah. Sorry? Conviction, yaqeen, yeah, conviction. Okay. These are all aspects under one greater rubric, in my opinion, right? And not just my opinion, it's, what the scholars say. Ibn Qayyim says this in his Madarij al-Salikin. The highest station of a person is ubudiyah. It's ubudiyah, it's slavery. Right? When Ibrahim, sorry? Servitude, yeah. I prefer slavery because the Arabs understood it at that time. Yeah. Abd means slave, yeah. Abd means slave. And when Ibrahim was doing what he did, right, that was slavery to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what it was, right? And this is the highest. It's not ruhani. It's not that you feel. Another thing that people do nowadays, it kind of slightly irks me. It's just this new trend. Whenever you've all had this, right? If you get a WhatsApp message of somebody's of some kind of religious reminder, there has to be a nasheed in the background. SubhanAllah, that puts me off, honestly. Why do you have to have a nasheed? I mean, do we need a nasheed behind the Quran? Allah could have revealed a nasheed with the Quran, Why do we need a mood? The greatest progress that you make in your connection with Allah comes not through a process of creating mood. It comes through a process of thinking. Right? And this is why the Quran time and time and time again urges us to think. أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Right? This is the Quran time and time again urges us to contemplate and to think. And this is what Ibrahim did. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he thought and he arrived at the realities that we talked about before, by the way, which was the creator, the purposefulness of this whole everything here. And we should bear this in mind. So we should bear this in mind that, and this is why then we got groups coming about then, you know, to achieve this, and it's this vocabulary that's partly to blame. And they, and you know, that what they end up doing is they end up engaging in certain exercises, rigors, to get them to reach a certain state. Because what they're aiming for is the mood. What they're not aiming for is what the Quran and the Sunnah want us to aim for. They're aiming for mood. And that's why some of them even take drugs, right? And some of them dance around in repetitive motions, and you've seen the whirling dervishes go round and round. What is it? It's all about ruhaniyah. It's all about achieving some kind of mood. Okay, so so anyway, so what I wanted to say was, you know, this point about knowledge being general, and what is useful is good, and what is not useful is not good. Now, given the fact that knowledge is a broad thing, I want to. This was my slide that I just talked about. Which you can see it: sacred versus non-sacred, useful versus non-useful, portion vis-a-vis external terminology. Okay. Now, I want to propose some observations to you guys, and we're going to discuss these in tables. So this is the list. The first one, knowledge is power. Okay. Number 2, the degree to which we have access to knowledge impacts our ability to make informed decisions. Okay. Number 3, knowledge is an individual responsibility and right. Number 4, the types of knowledge a society or person values depends on what they ultimately value. And number 5, all knowledge is not equal. All knowledge is not equal. Okay, so these are some general observations that I'm proposing, right? So you don't have to agree. What I would like to ask you is, to what extent do you agree? Do you agree or disagree? And to what extent and why? And to what extent do you think these observations are applicable to Islamic knowledge? Yeah?
What is Islamic knowledge?
Very good question. Very good question. Very good question. Very good. You see, yeah, I'm going to come on to that. And I know there's a preempting.
Islamic and say observe is applicable.
Sorry?
To what extent
So
observation applicable?
Islamic knowledge, for the purpose of this, let's define it as knowledge of Islam that arises out of the Quran or the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? And any disciplines that assist in that. Arabic or...
Right. My observation.
Okay.
In the way how people deal with knowledge.
So
what they term quote unquote.
Yeah.
Islamic knowledge, sacred knowledge, whatever.
Yeah.
Is more the law, the legal aspect of things.
Oh no, it's not that. Yeah, it's not law.
No. But
You see, most of the Quran is not law.
So I know.
You know.
But
So
I
yeah.
think the way how people define it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
No, thank you.
It
Thank
means
you.
Salafis, it means Deobandis.
Sure.
This is the way.
Sure.
So they call it, judgment. Right,
Yes.
wrong.
No, Jazakallah, it's an important point to clarify.
So that is why I want, if you're saying Islamic knowledge, how you define that? So we can make that observation applicable. Because earlier, we're talking about knowledge are beneficial and non-beneficial.
Yeah.
So what is the subject?
I think for the purposes of this, define it yourselves. Because you see, there is a bit of circularity to this, because I want to come on to that a bit later, but I still want to introduce it now. So maybe it's a good idea that you guys just discuss amongst yourselves what even you think Islamic knowledge is, if you want to. But just, just take it generally, and then, we'll talk about it a bit later. So define it as you want to at the moment. Okay?
So for this exercise, we want everybody in groups of 4.
Okay.
Alright, so 4 rather than 6. If you are 6, you make 7 groups of 4. Right.